India is the third largest Islamic population in the world, and the Asia Pacific is the largest Muslim population in the world. And like it or not, there is a very deep perception that whether it's Hindu nationalism or whatever, there's just a little too much on the books that puts Prime Minister Modi in a position of being not just nationalistic, but anti-Muslim. So my question to you, without defending the premises or lack of validity of the premises, what do you see India's role is going to be going forward in dealing with the issues of Islam globally?
Stephen Blank, you described many positive changes in India. One change many feel is more worrisome, and that is the erosion of the constitutional commitment to a secular state and the rise of a very politicized Hindu nationalism. Can you comment on this, please?
Look, I don't agree with your analysis and the question which flows from it. I would put it differently. I think that what we have seen after 70 odd years of independence is actually the results of the democratization of India. And by that I mean that today political power, social power, to some degree economic power, has shifted out of the big cities, the more cosmopolitan cities, where people speak English, where they have a sort of a global comfort level, people like me with whom you'll be comfortable, and move to a different set of people. People who are much more comfortable speaking in their own languages, who have a sort of a cultural, I would say, a milieu in which would be far more rooted on the ground in many ways. So to my mind, the changes which have happened in India are actually the demonstrate the successes of of democracy and what it has meant in terms of the consequences on the ground. So I don't accept that secularism is under threat for a very simple reason. Look, at the end of the day, secularism was not promoted by a law or by a constitutional belief. It was promoted by the ethos of the society. So, if the ethos of the society was not secular, no law, no constitutional provision would have ensured it. And I don't think the ethos of the society has changed, because I think the ethos of India and the Hindu ethos of India is actually very secular. It's very pluralistic.
India is the third largest Islamic population in the world, and the Asia Pacific is the largest Muslim population in the world. And like it or not, there is a very deep perception that whether it's Hindu nationalism or whatever, there's just a little too much on the books that puts Prime Minister Modi in a position of being not just nationalistic, but anti-Muslim. So my question to you, without defending the premises or lack of validity of the premises, what do you see India's role is going to be going forward in dealing with the issues of Islam globally?
Look, I don't know if you know, there's a national organization of great influence and recognition weight in India called the Jamaat Ulema-e-Hind. They've just had their annual meeting and they have spoken up very clearly in favor of the changes which are envisaged in Kashmir. I don't think, my first response to you would be, I would not agree that the Kashmir issue should be seen through a communal lens, okay? My second observation would be that if you look today at the changes in India, probably the word which captures it best for me is, India is modernizing in a very interesting way, and it's not necessarily state-driven, okay? I mean, to me, anything the state does is overshadowed by what the smartphone does. I mean, if you look today, the moment people have money, the first thing they do, I mean, when I had money, I first dreamt of buying a car. Someone today who's 16, 17, 18 would think of getting a phone and improving the phone. So, you are seeing a more urbanizing society. In that sense, society which is interestingly more meritocratic. The social gains are spreading, but at the same time, it's also mixing up. There's a lot of internal mobility, which wasn't there before. So I would actually predict to you that you would have a society increasingly where traditional identities matter less than they did in the past. In terms of, how do we approach the Indian state or the political party, the ruling political party? Look, today, if there's one area where we can boast of visibly good relations, particularly in the last 5 years, that would be the Gulf. And the dominant faith in the Gulf. I think they see it because there is an objectivity about them and a sort of, they don't have vested interest in what is essentially an Indian domestic discourse. So I would not be comfortable with the view that somewhere we are headed for some kind of collision with the Muslim community globally. I don't think that is the case.
I think, Dana, if you'll forgive me, we have to bring the session to a close. I want to thank everyone for coming and being part of this tonight. Minister, and particularly to thank you. You've given us a sense of the structure of India's foreign policy to which this country is privileged to relate and will have to relate in the years ahead, and you've given us some very sharp insights.
It was a bridge but became a barrier.